So right now with that diesel, I'll move that aside and we'll put this right here where we can see it, and I'll add that diesel very slowly. Good morning, welcome back to camp. Okay, today this will be the second video on the diesel and the AdBlue. So this one's full of good diesel, no problems. This one here had the AdBlue in it, 10 litres of AdBlue, and then I put 190 litres of diesel on top of it. And what I've done with this is I've siphoned off 100 litres so far. It looks like to be very clear diesel. So let's go in the shed, and what I want to do is I've got a small amount of AdBlue in here. I've got some jars here with 100, 300, 400 mils. So what I intend to do is I'm going to put 100 mils of AdBlue, 300 mils of diesel, and that'll make up 400, and then give it a good shake up, let it settle, and then put it through Mr. Funnel here. Mr. Funnel takes water out of the diesel, and I'm going to use a set of scales here, and then I'm going to use my measuring jug, and I'm going to do it in both. Okay girls, I hear. I'm going to do it in both gram weight of diesel and AdBlue, and I'm also going to do it in mils as well, and then put it through Mr. Funnel and see what we end up with. Now, I learned a big lesson here, but I didn't put it into a vehicle, which is a big trap for most people. They put it in their fuel tank of their car, and because it's water and urea, it settles at the bottom, diesel settles at the top, and as soon as they try and start the car, they suck water into the engine. I've done it a little bit different in the fact that this is diesel for storage for the tractor, and I'm going to do this a very rough experiment in regards to has the water and urea mixed in with the diesel. I believe it will separate out, but no one will give me any clear answers on it. So let's go and do some tests. I'm going to use diesel from the same garage. I got it the very next day, and I also got the AdBlue, which is in this blue container here, red container here, from the same garage. So the fuel I'm going to use in the test is from the same garage the very next day. So let's go. So I'll just put a little bit of diesel. Clean diesel. So we've got the clean diesel, and we'll put in 300 grams, 300 mils again. 300 mils, and that weighs 238. So that's 300 mils, weighs 238 grams. So right now with that diesel, I'll move that aside, and we'll put this right here where we can see it, and I'll add that diesel very slowly. So you can see in the bottom there's a suddy layer. It's like suds on top of the water. The diesel looks like the diesel. So right now I think it's separated quite, the suds are slowly, the bubbles are slowly busting. So right now we can see that the water mixture, AdBlue, is on the bottom and the diesel is on the top. We'll put the diesel aside, put that aside, and we'll put the lid on this, and now we'll give it a shake up. So driving home would have been mixed up, probably not to that degree, but mixed up, and my black is coming off the glass jar because of the diesel on my hands. So what we'll do now is we'll just watch that settle, and we can see already that the water is going back down to the bottom of the bottle. The question is, will it come to the 100 gram mark? And it's only been a couple of minutes and already we see separation. So you can understand why, if you put it into a diesel tank in the car and the takeoff point is down the bottom, you instantly suck this water urea mixture. So I would say that my homegrown experiment shows that the water has separated out down the bottom and we've left with diesel up the top. But is it as clear as that? And I'd have to say no, not at this point. So what we'll do is we'll let it sit there for 24 hours and then we'll come back and see whether that diesel has cleaned up or whether it's still got a milky tinge to it. The question I have is the urea portion of the mix going to mix in with the diesel, or is it going to stay in with the water? I would say that looking at that 100 mils, probably hasn't come up to exactly where it was, and I think the diesel is definitely slightly milky at this point, but it's only been 3 or 4 minutes as long as this video has been playing. So let's come back in 24 hours and have another look. Bye for now. Okay, welcome back. So it's been 24 hours and this bottle with 400 mils of liquid in it has got 100 mils of AdBlue and 300 mils of diesel. So we'll just have a look at the clarity of the diesel first. There's a light behind it there from that window, and my observation is that the test sample of diesel here and the contaminated diesel is exactly the same, and the AdBlue, which is the clear liquid in the bottom up to 100, is as it was when I put it in there. So my observation on the farm here is that diesel, if I can get that diesel off that water urea mixture, it'll be 100% fine. But let's have a look at some numbers. So we know that the 300 mils of diesel weighs 238. So let's call that 240 because I'm only using kitchen scales. So that comes to 80 grams per litre. That's what diesel weighs, 80 grams per litre, or around about that. So let's look at the 100 mils of AdBlue weighed 105 grams. So we know that 100 mils of water weighs 100 grams, 1 litre, 1 kilo, and that's how water works out. So we know it's 105 grams, could be 104 grams, could be 106 grams. So we're going to assume that 5 grams of urea are in that product. But even looking at that 105 compared to the 80 is lighter, so therefore it's going to float on the water. Science tells you that. So the question I have is, am I going to get 105 grams or 100 mils back out of this once I put it through Mr. Funnel? And Mr. Funnel is a very good product, but he does have a design issue I have, and it's not really an issue because it's designed, let's go out in the sun, it's designed to catch the fouls in the bottom. So therefore, where's the sun? There it is. So therefore, we can see that there, yeah. Therefore, it's probably got 12 mil that doesn't reach the filter in the bottom. So my theory will be, when I pour that AdBlue diesel mixture through this funnel, there will be a certain percentage gets caught in the bottom of the filter that will not pass through. And I'm going to assume that that will be 100 mils. I haven't measured it, and I probably should. But the filter is designed not to let water through. So that's the next step, is to use Mr. Filter to filter that mixture and see what happens. So I'm happy to say that in that drum, the AdBlue is completely separated out, and if I carefully siphon off the top, so 10 litres is only way down there somewhere, way down there, and I've taken 100 litres off, so there'll be another 80 litres in there that will be nice dieseline, which I'll put through my tractor. Because you've got to remember, my tractor's been abused. It's had water through the system. You can go back and look at the videos on that. When I pulled out the fuel filter, it was rusty, so I'd let water sit in the system for some time, and it started to rust out the inside of the fuel filter. In saying that, well, it's going to rust out inside of the fuel pump as well. Any metal parts in that, I think they're aluminium. So I believe I've got diesel rising in my oil in the tractor, and it's probably through the water going through the injector pump, and it's leaking diesel into the oil system because the oil system lubricates the diesel pump. Anyway, comments on that would be great about the rising level of the diesel in the fuel. I've got a new fuel pump which I will put on one day, but I just want to do a few more experiments in regards to the rising tide of the oil. Alright, so next step is to filter the fuel. Okay, so we're back, and I've got Mr. Funnel here over my measuring jar, and I'm going to pour this mixture in, including the water. So we can see the water being drained off and the tide rising. So I'm going to let that settle. Just let it do its thing. There's 100 mils in there so far. Looks like I've got to lift it up because it's the tide's slowly rising. So I'm just going to walk away from this and see what happens. Okay, so we're back again, and what I've been doing is I've been agitating the liquid, because there is liquid left in here which can't reach the bottom of the filter. That's how it's designed. But I'm agitating that up onto the filter, so by splashing it up on the filter, if there's any diesel there, we'll end up going through. And we got 250 mils there, so we were slightly below the 300 to start with, but wetted surface area, like the wetted surface area in here, the filter membrane, even the wetted surface in that glass there, does reduce the liquid density. But I can say, let's put that in there, I can say that what that does prove is that the colour of that filtered material, the diesel, is exactly the same as the test sample. So I'm quite happy that Mr. Filter has removed all the moisture, water, from the fuel. And I'd be concerned if this was more than 300, because I'd know that there'd be 5 grams of urea in the 100 mils would have got through into here. I'm happy that it's 250. I'm happy with the clarity of it there, you can see. And just remember, this is a farm test on the bench in the workshop here. I just thought I'd show you that I emptied that small amount of fuel out of the funnel, Mr. Funnel, and you can see the 100 mils of water, and there's a bit of fuel in there. So it's about 150 mils gets left in Mr. Funnel each time you use it. Interesting. Happy to waste that much, but I don't waste it. I usually put it into a container and let it settle, and then siphon it off, put it back through Mr. Filter. And there you go. Very good. I'm happy with that experiment. We can now move on. Thanks, guys. It's certainly clean enough. On this side here, it looks clearer, but anyway, I could look at it all day long and get a different opinion. Alright, thanks for coming along on this video. Hope you enjoyed it, learned a bit like I did, and please subscribe and like. Bye for now.